Sufficient conditions can be kind of tricky. Sometimes what is sufficient is explained by a simple if ... then ... as with this top one, which is why we have the diamond, which symbolizes possible. Sometimes if ... is giving us a sufficient conditions. For example, if I said, I'll give you the candy if you just stop crying. Well, there, the word just is kind of acting like the word only, and it sounds like I'm saying only if. But what if I didn't say the word just? Does it still work? Yes, it does. If I said, I'll give you the candy if you stop crying, then you stop crying, and you can expect that I'm going to give you the candy. I give you the candy because I said that on the condition that you stop crying, I will give you the candy. There, the if is acting as a sufficient condition marker. It indicates or marks or signals that the thing you want will be had if you satisfy whatever is the antecedent, whatever I said first. If you stop crying, then I'll give you the candy. Here is a different example. If someone cheats, then they should fail. That word if is telling us that it's sufficient for someone to fail that they cheated. One way you could fail is just by doing poorly, but another way you could fail is by cheating. And if you cheat, then you will fail, or then you should fail. There, the word if is giving us a sufficient reason. This argument is similar to the previous. They're both modus ponens. Although you notice the first premise of this argument does not say the word if. However, it is giving us a sufficient condition. It gives us a sufficient condition for being punished. And what's that condition? Hitting animals. You can hit animals and a ton of things might happen. You might do a bunch of different things and then be punished. But one thing is most certainly clear if this premise is true. Whoever hits animals should be punished. It is enough to be punished that you hit animals. If you do every other thing correctly, you will still be punished so long as you hit animals. Why? Because hitting animals is enough to qualify you as needing punishment. Here's two ways to say that something is sufficient for another. If Z, then Y. In that case, you get Y so long as Z. And the second one is that Z is enough for Y, but you have to know that Y might occur even if Z doesn't occur. For example, it's enough to make sweet potatoes ready to eat by putting them in the slow cooker, but you might make sweet potatoes ready to eat through another way. You might put them in the oven and bake them. You might put them on the grill. Sometimes we use the word if in front of a premise, and that makes it a sufficient condition, as in the case if P, then Q. You get Q so long as you have P. If we say the word only in front of the word if, we're not talking about sufficient conditions. Only if marks a premise which is necessary, but not required that it's sufficient as well. If instead we use the phrase if and only if, we are talking about necessary and sufficient conditions.